Centremaps video. Today we're lucky enough to be at the Ordnance Survey headquarters. We've got Emily with us to talk about addressing. Emily, can you explain a little bit about where addressing is coming into for Ordnance Surveys and how actually there's a few people coming together and putting data into that?
Yes, absolutely. So most of our address data comes from local authorities, and they have a statutory obligation to street name and number all addresses. On top of that, we link Royal Mail's postal address data. If they know where all the post is being delivered, we read into that data from the people at valuation fields. So that's council tax and domestic rates, things like that. So we bring all of that together.
Just the consistency of the data for us as a partner, it does make life so much easier knowing when you're loading data, it's going to be structured the same way and not having to roll back databases. And actually, that flows through to customers. They know what they're going to get and how it's going to be organised. We're using addressing for like customer-facing things like an address search, locate an address, or being able to help a customer to say register on a website and capture those fields into a known pattern. And then we also do address matching, where we might have varying levels of address quality from a client, and we're trying to marry that up. So it's great to have OS being consistent, because the customer may be bringing data from several generations of capture, maybe buying a housing association, grouping together with another housing association, moving stock, and the addresses.
Yeah,
the quality varies.
Yeah, that consistency is really important to us. So where our data comes from so many different sources, so we have over 300 local authorities, and then those other organisations on top of that, trying to capture and then maintain that data at a consistent standard is really important. And as you say, people who have been maintaining their own address databases for however long years, they don't capture that in a standardised way either, and they maintain that in different ways. So having a central kind of address product, having the UPRN to link all of that together is really important. So it's, for us, those address products are a really good way to kind of overcome a lot of those challenges.
So the UPR and that unique property reference number, once you have made those joins between addresses, you can keep that, you can suddenly start communicating.
Absolutely. So, one organisation might have captured a house number. So you might say, I live at number 9 Rose Street, and then someone else will go, actually, I renamed number 9 Mulberry Cottage. And so with the UPRN, we know that we're talking about the same thing, so there's no error that creeps into that when you've got duplication or you're making incorrect decisions.
And that UPR is getting embedded into a lot of sort of publicly available data sets.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a government mandate for, where possible, public sector organisations to publish their data with the UPRN or its counterpart, the USRN for streets. Right. We've seen people like Land Registry, Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities publishing their data that they hold for things like energy performance certificates with the UPRNs. So just having that kind of that national standard for being able to talk about address.
We've seen it with some Land Registry data, and the idea of trying to join what their version of address was wouldn't say it has to be a nightmare, but actually that instant, something that anyone who's spoken database knows about indexing. In fact, you can categorically join something, but even in Excel, just trying to join things together.
Exactly. It takes the sort of the decision-making process out of it, and if everyone's making those decisions, the likelihood of people making the same decisions is small. So, having that common identifier that everyone can use to transact between different address databases, it adds to the value of it. The more people that use it, the more kind of valuable it gets.
And then I guess the next thing that I think about the OS addressing is that it makes sense to Ordnance Survey is getting in the location.
Yes, absolutely. That's a really important thing for us, getting that kind of that geographic position for each of those addresses. Do a lot of work to make sure it's interoperable with our other products. So if you have an address that's located here, it corresponds with the buildings data, land use data, things like that. So you should be able to kind of use all of those things together.
We mentioned PRNs, but there's also between those an ability to relate, say, a flat to the fact that it's part of the building. And so can you sort of talk a little bit about that parent-child?
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, our address data is relational, so you may live in a flat, but that flat is within a building. So knowing that there's that relationship means that you can understand a bit more things like delivery. So, if you're in a flat, you think, okay, which floor is that flat on? You think, okay, it's on the 7th floor, I need to make a different decision about delivery. So it's also really valuable for complex sites. Right. So within a hospital, you know, you might have a UPRN for a specific building, and then knowing that that's part of a site, really important to just get a fuller picture of what's happening at that location.
And I guess it kind of works in both directions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing that a building has 60 flats in it is very important for landlords or protection of life, any of those segments.
And then the next element that we're familiar working with for our customers is the classification of things like residential, commercial.
Yep.
So that can get quite detailed.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think on the commercial side, certainly. So on the residential side, we break that down into different types of dwellings. So flats, detached houses, semi-detached. So we find it in the lot in the land of property sector, people like knowing the difference between a detached and a semi-detached house. Commercial, the breakdown is endless. So it's kind of different levels of granularity. So knowing that it's retail, medical, things like that. But even within that, we can tell you this is a garden centre, or you know, this is a dentist versus a GP. So again, we capture things at the most granular level possible, so that people can then make decisions based on their use case.
And then actually, there's a couple of subsets as well that are available to people: the historic and the future.
So within NGV, we've broken data down into four feature types, and 3 of those relate to property life cycle. So the biggest of those feature types is built address, which is what is active, what is in use today. But alongside that, we have historic addresses, so things that no longer exist, and then pre-build, which are anything that's been given planning permission all the way up through to build, so under construction. So,
and it's we've seen it being useful for people understanding those change going on around properties, maybe the owner assets they own, and even quite a basic level mentioned there, we do doing address cleaning.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to know when you've got an address wrong.
Yeah.
You can keep guessing and try and be more vague and trying to match it. But actually, if you've got historic future, there's quite a lot of occasions where somebody will give you a stock list, and it's we're building these 100 houses, and it's not identified in the stock list, but suddenly we can check against that bit itself.
Absolutely, yeah. I think having those requirements for understanding what's coming is really important. As you say, if you're looking for something, I can't see it, it's not there. And it's actually, you know, people do need to get mortgages against new build houses. People do need to start thinking about receiving services into those houses. So having that data available, as you say, means you can validate it before it becomes operational. And that's really important to get that good data.
Thanks, Emily. And I think it just, as an aside, I know we've got a conversation with the colleague Dean about National Geographic Database. And I think the interesting about addresses and OS data moving forward is how closely it all links together. And so the idea that the address can then feed in, start pulling information from things like a building and what attributes it might have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our sort of more traditional products used to be very siloed, and so you'd have to then stitch them together yourself. You then have a lot of information you didn't need, whereas with NGV, it's all in one place, so you can pull out those attributes, just those attributes you need. So for address, easy for people then to take sort of construction type, building age, things like that from building, again, to just build a richer picture of the assets they manage, or make better decisions.
Great. Thanks, Emily. I really appreciate it. If you're trying to understand perhaps your own stock information, or trying to understand how risk affects particular addresses, and trying to work out how to join up those dots, then do get in touch with us to try and help out. And it's always interesting to understand challenges people are having where location is critical. But thanks again to OS, and thanks to OS for hosting us, and hopefully you'll see in some more videos from us.